And we're back with another episode of Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale with Don and Kevin. Kevin.
Don, how are you?
I'm good, Kevin. How are you? It's always a joker. We have a joker or two when we start these things, don't we?
Sometimes it spills over, but yeah.
You got to laugh. In this day and age, you got to laugh.
Absolutely.
So we're going to spend some time today. We're not going to laugh because we have a serious topic today.
Yeah.
But we're still going to laugh anyway.
We're always going to laugh.
We're going to always have a chuckle. But we're going to talk about something serious today because we've got another great guest, as we have every week on Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale. And with us today is Andrea Robertson, who's the founder of Lexie's Voice and well known to so many of us in Scottsdale through so many other organizations as well. But let's talk about Lexie's Voice today. So what began as a mother's fight for her daughter's proper diagnosis and education became a movement that changed lives across Arizona. Andy has led the effort behind Lexie's Law. It's a tax credit scholarship program that has helped hundreds of children with autism and developmental disabilities access education that really fits what they need. Her story is one of advocacy, it's one of courage, and what's possible when families turn struggle into lasting change. Andy, so delighted to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
Does such wonderful work with this, Kevin. She's one of our community heroes, isn't she?
Absolutely. Well, when you talk about Andy, you're reminded of how much touch she does the community. And I often think, I'll think to myself, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I need,
she does so much.
List,
Right? I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, the list goes on, and well known, but as a community champion. But I love the story behind Lexie's Law. But we're going to get into that. But tell us first a little bit. We always like to start these things with a little bit of a background with people who are here, where you grew up and how you got into your career, and give us a little bit of the Andy story before we get into Lexie's Voice.
Well, I'm a native Arizonan. My born and raised here. In my family, I'm the only one that was born and raised here. We went to Tempe Kid, went to McClintock High School.
Oh, that's my daughter
went to Mesa Community.
Okay.
And then we owned and ran a beauty salon for 25 years out in Tempe, and went and got my aesthetics license, my nail license, and did that. I loved it for my whole career until I had kids.
Kids change things.
Kids change everything. And God blessed me with my special little angel that saved me from a not so great marriage that led me to the most amazing husband that I have now, and to raise, he had custody of his boys, and I got 2 extra out of it, and I got to raise them from their time when they were, second grade and kindergarten. And
that's a great family
got a family
story.
Of 5. We got the Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch all over. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
And he was very lucky. He adopted my girls, and, we raised a wonderful family together.
Sometimes things are just meant to be.
That's right.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
are. They are.
But let's talk about your journey with Lexie's Voice. And it began as a mother. You were a mom fighting for your daughter, Lexie. Take us back to that moment when you realized that you had to become an advocate. What did that look like? What did that feel like back when you came to the point where you said, I got to do some advocacy work on this issue?
Well, I couldn't get her diagnosed with autism. Girls didn't have autism back then. 24 years ago, it was 1 in 300 boys. Girls didn't have it. And she had a twin that was hitting her, her twin was hitting all of her milestones, and Lexie wasn't hitting hers. And so, mother fights, and the doctors were like, okay, we'll give her cerebral palsy. She's not going to crawl. She's not going to walk. She has all these physical disabilities, yet she was doing them slower, but she was reaching them. You go to these therapies, and it was so great. I met a mom with a little boy that had autism. And the therapist and I were like, it's autism. But back then, girls didn't have it.
That's crazy. It's come along. How old was Lexie then?
She was 3.
Okay.
She was in this public school system, great program, that they were just barely starting. She was one of the first kids in. And they weren't equipped. And they were just barely starting something that's changed so many lives and doing so many things. Her disability, the words on there were cerebral palsy, mental retardation. So she was going to go into a different classroom. And she couldn't be in the kindergarten classroom for the kids with autism. And so they said, we're going to give you this word. Go find a scholarship. Go find a school. Figure this out. And so I knew I had to find something. So I found the Arizona voucher, and I got her on that. And it was where you can take your state allocated funds and put her into a private school that I knew would best suit her needs. And so I got her that. But in that little bit of time, the ACLU and the teachers union didn't think it was constitutional for us us parents to take our state allocated funds and put it into a private school.
Boy, oh boy.
So that was a fight.
Yeah.
So I learned, the Institute for Justice took me on as a client.
Really?
And I was able to learn how I didn't want to be an advocate. I didn't know how to be an advocate. I was taught how to be an advocate.
Yeah.
The Institute for Justice took me under their wing, and we fought for the constitutionality of the Arizona voucher program.
Really?
And that is what led me to passing what is now Lexie's law, the tax credit law, that now our cap is $22 million. But we also have the Arizona voucher program that is now constitutional after fighting.
This is way before ESA.
And then
Yeah.
I was also, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm also the mom that wrote that.
Oh, you are?
I was on the team of people.
Really?
It was me and the Institute for Justice sitting in a Starbucks the day Lexie's law was passed and said, the Speaker of the House said, what is Arizona getting wrong?
Wow.
What are we missing?
Right.
And I said, there's just this population that just doesn't quite fit. Doesn't quite fit. They need a little more help.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that I can take my state allocated funds. I know what best is going to do best for her, and we can put it into a private school, and they're going to become productive members of society and taxpayers.
Exactly.
So, and they said, write it. And so that's how the empowerment scholarship
That was back in
accounts.
2009, right?
Yes.
So that was a few years ago. Do you have any idea how many families you've helped over that time now?
There's now 100,000 families utilizing the empowerment scholarship accounts.
We'll talk about
That's amazing.
impact, huh?
Right, yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
So-
And what was the name of the organization again that took you as a client?
Institute for Justice.
That's in Arizona.
There's an Arizona chapter,
Okay.
but it's all over the
It's a
country.
national. Okay.
Washington, D.C.
Wow.
So early in those early days, when did you start realizing that your family experience wasn't really unique, that there were a whole lot of other families in Arizona experiencing the same thing?
I met so many families. The Institute for Justice had me do rallies in front of the state capitol for the Arizona voucher program. We needed the support of other families saying, these programs aren't working for us. We need more. And then I just started meeting families that just needed help charting their educational path. They needed help figuring out the government system, the department, DDD as we call it, the Department for Developmental Disabilities. Okay. And so I was learning how to navigate those systems early. She's really early on, and I've kind of gotten very good at it. And I learned that if you don't ask, you won't receive. And then that brought me to Scottsdale Leadership.
Scottsdale Leadership, right?
Scottsdale Leadership is probably one of the biggest turning points in my life.
Describe what that meant for you.
I didn't have a place in the community. I had a daughter that didn't have a place in the community. And I said, I've got to start giving back to this community so that I can ask for things that she needs. Mm-hmm. And if I don't start giving back, why is this community going to give to us? So my husband had gone through Scottsdale Leadership as class 18. I interviewed and said, why are they going to take, I'm just a mom with 5 kids. What have I done in the world to be a part of this organization? And they took me. And I learned how to be a part of the community. Here I was born and raised here, and Scottsdale Leadership taught me so much about how the city was run, and I knew I could become a productive member of this city.
And how?
Yeah.
You think?
So did Lexie's Voice, I know that Lexie's Voice was a Project Lead It Forward project, right?
No, it was Beyond Autism. I helped start,
okay.
Over the course of the last 20 years, I have been very blessed to help start a few programs. I've helped start 4 schools and an equine therapy program. And having done a few different iterations at the few different times of her, different ages of her life, and, utilizing Lexie's law for those 4 different iterations, St. Dominic's of Savio was a teacher. We helped her, us families helped her start. And then Beyond Autism, it was a project lead it forward. And Beyond Autism, it came to a time where I knew after everything was great at Beyond Autism, they're amazing. They're still running. The family that runs that is amazing. I knew she needed more life skill training as she was becoming a teenager. So that's when I started utilizing the Empowerment Scholarship account. And she needed more of a one-to-one. She needed to get out into the community. She needed to learn how to grocery shop. She needed to go to the park. She needed to go do more.
Just live a normal life.
Just live a normal life.
Right.
And so it was my turn. I kept waiting for the YMCA to go up for sale. I said, why don't we have a YMCA? Why don't our population have a Boys and Girls Club? We don't have a place to call our own. Our population needs a little more hand-holding. They can do anything, but they just need somebody in their around them to give them an extra hand here or an extra hand there. Lexie, my husband loves to say this, Lexie's not getting out of the house if it's on fire. But she can go do anything in the house that she needs to do. And that's our population. She's completely nonverbal, but she communicates with her iPad.
Okay.
And a lot of this population, once they're done with school, the Empowerment Scholarship account goes to their 22, or the high schools have to house them until they're 22. Then what?
Then they're on their own.
Then they're on their own.
Right.
And a lot of them can go and work at Sprouts. A lot of them can go and work in a coffee shop. But there's a whole population that gets left behind. As I would start this, these different school systems, Lexie is popular because I help with the law. I help with the Empowerment Scholarship account. I help with the Arizona Voucher Program. When Lexie would get into these said programs, they would go from 6, 8, 10 kids to 30. And she would get left behind because she was an easier child. So I said, okay, it's time. I need to do more. YMCA is not going up for sale. And a Boys and Girls Club is not going up for sale.
True.
So I'm going to have to do this myself.
Right. So what does that mean, do it yourself? How has Lexie's Voice evolved since you founded it?
It has evolved in that we have a tutoring. Lexie's Voice provides a tutoring program for life skills. We have a small building, and for a little while we were in a home environment, and then I bought Lexie's Ranch.
Okay.
So I've tried it. I'm trying to keep it small so we don't outgrow, so that no one gets left behind.
Talk about Lexie's Ranch.
So when we started Beyond Autism, we asked to go swim at Cactus Pool, and they said it was too much of a liability. And I understand that. It is. And I said, someday I will have a pool for these kids to swim in. Someday. And so my husband found it. We loved, she loves horses, and it's hard to drive them an hour away and then get their bodies regulated to get them then out of the car, and you have 30 minutes to get them on the horse,
Right.
and then get them back in the car and drive.
Back home. Right.
So he just said, it's going to have to be something. You've always wanted this. You've always wanted something close to the house. It's got to be by our house. And so just the right timing. My dad had some health issues this summer, and couldn't drive her 6 miles away to where the program we were in, the house that I had her in. And he just said, hey, I found it. Let's do it.
Wow.
He said, you've wanted this, make it hers.
So where is it?
It is on Scottsdale Road in Cactus.
Really? That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you started now. Do you still have Lexie's Voice though?
I do. Lexie's Voice
That's
is
on
the
92nd Street, isn't it?
overarching.
Or-
Lexie's Voice is the
Yeah.
foundation.
Okay.
And Lexie's Voice Foundation, I raise money for Lexie's Voice Foundation to pay for Lexie's Ranch.
Okay, but didn't you have a small space for Lexie's Voice?
I do. I still
and you still
have it.
that.
Mhm.
Okay,
I still
All right,
have
so you
that.
still have Lexie's Voice.
Yes.
Which is a physical space
It's
where people
yes.
can come
Yes,
to
for-
and learn those skills, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then for the ranch now, will there some overlapping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because Lexie's Ranch will be our community space.
Okay.
I will open that to the community. I just took down 20 horse stalls, and I'm going to build a activity barn that's going to look like the inside of a YMCA.
No, it's nice.
So we're going to have our own space. And I'm going to build a park area. I took down the horse runs for those there was 30 horses on the property. And now I've just kept the Mayor Motel area, and I'm started a petting zoo. We have 2 Highland cows and a 33-year-old horse who will live out his life with us that the kids love. He is so gentle and so wonderful. We can't ride him because he's 33.
Yeah.
Right.
But chickens will come in March. So we'll have chickens, and then we're going to get some little miniature burros and maybe some little miniature goats, so that we're going to have a petting zoo. That way they have a place to call their own,
Yeah.
and they have purpose. So that they come, and this is what I do every day. I take care of these living animals,
That's fat.
and they need us.
And when did this start? When did you get the ranch going?
End of July.
Just it's within the first year, just a couple of months. That's great news. Yeah. So, how do you make this all work? Do you do fundraising, and how do
I
people
just
support?
started fundraising, and Brad and I have been doing it from our family foundation
Okay.
ourselves, and now we're going to start doing some major fundraising. And Scottsdale Leadership is actually doing their first project, Lead It Forward, for alumni, and they are putting in my community garden.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's a big one.
We may have to be a part of that, Kevin.
Yeah.
I know. I'm recruiting people, and
Well, Sarah.
I think we just got
Sarah's
recruited.
recruiting.
Yeah.
Sarah's our team manager,
Is she? Yeah.
and she's starting to recruit people, and we'll have our first alumni project, Lead It Forward.
I think we might have just got recruited, Kevin.
I think
Yeah,
you
right.
did.
I think we're gonna have to say yes.
No, you used to. I was going to talk to Sarah anyway, but no, just so that our listeners know what we keep talking about Project Lead It Forward. Scottsdale Leadership, the organization's 40 years old this year. As people go through the program in their year, they are given community tasks or community projects to work on, right? And so, but this is a project that expands all the alumni who've gone through Scottsdale Leadership, then can participate and work on the new project, right? Okay.
Yes.
I understand that correctly.
That's fantastic. So you've helped hundreds of children, as you talked. I mean, a whole bunch of families. Is there a moment that really stays with you? Maybe more than one that really touches your heart when you think about what you've been able to accomplish for others.
There's so many. It's the mothers that come to me and don't know where to go or what to do or feel lost, and giving them that hope, and it's okay. Yes, it's a diagnosis. It's a diagnosis that's not. Take that diagnosis and get all the help you can for your child. It's not the end. It's really just the beginning of the people that you never would have met before. It's the beginning of your life opening up to the small wins. You have to take the time, and I take the time now, and I look at her little wins, and I have created 4 of the most compassionate, loving, giving adults that I don't think the world would have had before. And when I just helped move a family here from Boston.
Really?
They've been in Boston. Their son's 31. I guess he just turned 31. He's 31 now.
He's special needs then? I
Special
would imagine?
needs.
Okay.
He's autistic. And they lived in Boston, but her family is here, the wife. And I've spoken to the father over the course of a year and helped them move here. And we talked. I helped him get through the system, helped him get the help from the government assistant into a day program, and helped them just by holding their hand and helping them think outside the box. It doesn't have to be daunting. I know everything. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it's hard being a parent of an autistic child. it's lonely. It's scary. It's hard. But if you can try and say, there could be there's always something worse. And if you know, just getting that parent to come and smile and give me a smile, those are the days that drive me to work harder and provide more and to help more.
That's fabulous. You know, you think about autism, our understanding of autism now is so much different than it was 20 years ago. Like you
So
described
much.
about it, the girls don't get it. It's like,
Yes.
really? Come on. So there's been a lot of organizations too. Do you partner with other, like SARC and groups like that? How does that work in terms of your collaboration?
No, I haven't had the privilege to do that yet. But
Okay.
you never know.
Yeah. So you're looking for those
I'm
opportunities.
looking for
as
some
you
of those
keep expanding,
opportunities, yes.
right.
Because
Yeah,
in my mind, there's how many YMCAs do we have in the valley?
exactly.
I want to have 10 or 12 Lexie's ranches. I want them accessible. I want them in Tempe, Gilbert, Chandler, Apache Junction, Glendale, Phoenix, because these kids are at home. They deserve to have their own journey. They deserve to be out in the world. They deserve to have something that's theirs.
Can adults also access the ranch?
That's all adults.
That's part of the deal,
Yeah,
right?
it's every age.
Okay.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
a place for them to go now, because right now that's a big gap for
It's
people. right?
It's a
Yeah.
big gap. And you know, once you're out of high school, you're out of the public school system.
Mm-hmm.
It's day programs. They're far and few between. And even after school programs, there aren't any. And I'll have the space, and I'll be able to do that.
I said, once you become an adult, you lose all those services that they provide for kids. So sometimes it's like, where do you go?
Right.
You know, and I know a lot of families struggle with that when they have older adults that still need assistance, and there's really no services.
Right.
for
And
them,
if you're
you know?
not really high functioning, you know, there aren't a lot of places for the lower, you know, or needing more assistance.
Don, you asked a minute ago about, you know, if Lexie's ranch would be open or, you know, might look for partnerships. And Andrea gave a nice little answer there. But to me, I think she's somebody who probably wants to create it on her own, probably, because
I
she's
know,
done so many different
yeah.
things on her own. She probably just rolls up her sleeves and says, I'm going to create this right now, here and now.
Go get her done.
Yeah, right?
You know, and there's a certain spirit with that. Says, you know, why wait?
Yeah. I've waited a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully somebody will say, hey, you know what? You're doing a good job. Let's do this together. I'll roll my sleeves up and do it with anybody.
Yeah, right.
I would hope people are telling you that you're doing a good job. You getting some feedback like that?
I'm getting a little feedback.
Okay.
The families that I'm helping are giving me that feedback, and just see them. I mean, just the other day, my sweet husband, of course, bought us a van, and Gilbert Mercedes, I have to say, Charlie and Audrey Alfano helped us get a very, very good, solid van, and we go out into the community, and I pulled up just to do something, and I got to watch them all get in the van, each in their respective seat, and they were on their way to the aquarium, and they were so happy.
Really?
And that fuels me to work even harder, knowing that that's just them being able to go out in the community to do something they love.
Starting to touch our hearts here, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. How many families are you helping right now that are at Lexie?
Right now we have 5.
Okay.
Right now we have the adult day program. Will stay small.
Okay.
Because I don't ever want anyone to get left behind. Lexie's been left behind so many times. I just
Yeah.
won't ever allow that.
Yeah.
But I'll build another one.
Yeah, I
And I'll-
bet. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything stopping her.
No,
You know, when you get passion for this and you have the ability and the smarts to know how to make it done, I mean, magical things can happen.
absolutely. And we just talked earlier about how much you do for the community, but I mean, you're really a true visionary. I mean, you're creating stuff from scratch like that. I mean, I knew you involved in, and I mean, you're Boys and Girls Club. I mean, you were the day chair of the gala, right?
Yes, for 3 years. I was
For
on the
3
committee
years?
for 4. I was
Okay.
on the committee for 1, and then I chaired it for 3.
Okay, and you did a great job with that. And that is your passion for that because of it's kids related, it's after school programming related. Is that why
I was a single mom that needed the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
I said, someday we'll do well enough and I'll be able to give back.
okay.
Yeah. And I was.
Model
For her.
for others, man, right
Yeah,
there. When you have the
absolutely.
abilities like that,
Mm-hmm.
why not? That's what community spirit's all about. How can people give back to you in your work with Lexie's Voice? What do you need? What can people do to support you?
You know, getting the awareness out there that it's even there, that, you know, if it touches your heart and if you're touched with somebody with autism donating and getting this ranch up and going. We've got a big building to build, and I want it, and I want there to be many of them.
I think that would be wonderful. Can you
When do you
imagine
think the barn? What you had a new name? What's the barn called again?
Our activity barn.
Activity barn. Okay. When do you think that's going to be up and running?
Well, hopefully soon. I'm getting architects. We're working on the landscape architecture. Starts as soon as the 19th. We're getting those plans started, and then I'm going to start working on the plans for the activity barn.
So maybe
shortly
next fall,
thereafter.
maybe
Next
or
fall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the
wow.
hope.
That's
I'm gonna come out.
fantastic.
I'm gonna come out and take some pictures and check it out.
Yeah, well, that's-
Anytime. I'm always willing to take anybody out there anytime. It's my little place, my little magical place.
And you're there every day.
Yes.
I'm sure you are.
Well, let's make sure when Scottsdale Leadership alumni get their alumni work
Yeah.
day out there, Kevin, you and I
Yeah.
are going to have to make sure we're part of that. Do you know when that is yet?
We have, Sarah will get those out to you. I do not know what they are off the top of my head.
We'll find out. We'll go recruit some people too.
Yeah.
We'll make that thing happen for you for
Yeah,
sure.
well.
What a great story. You know, Andrea, I had no idea. I mean, I knew about Lexie's Voice, but all of the work that you went into it and all the work that you're still doing and some of the new stuff that you have planned coming on board is amazing. So we learned a lot today.
Yeah, we did.
And we already knew you were a great community member, so that came without notice. But the work behind the scenes that you're doing is really amazing. And from a community standpoint, I think the community owes you a great big thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I love being a part of this community. It's a gift.
And Kevin, I think we have another winner on our hands here with a
Yeah.
podcast that shines the light on people doing good stuff.
Yeah, you got a little touch, didn't you?
Yeah, you can see your heart a little bit. You know, it
We all
does. It
did.
gets in your heart a little bit for sure. And I think hopefully people listening will get a little touched too and do what they can to support you.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Great conversation. Andy, thank you so much for being with us and for all the work that you're doing. And thank you all for listening. If it's in your hearts too, look for a way to really support Lexie's Voice. What's your website where they can go find you?
LexiesVoice.org.
LexiesVoice.org is the way to do it. So go check it out and then come on back and see us next week for our next
By the way,
episode.
Lexie's Lexi, right?
LEXIE.
IE. Oh, I didn't know about the IE in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. LEXIEVOICE.org.
There you go. So go visit that and then come back and see us next week for our latest episode of Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale.